we witnessed a bold demonstration of power that cannot be ignored. The recent sortie of the U.S. B-52 bomber over contested regions has sent a message loud and clear: America remains resolute, capable, unyielding in its defense commitments. This is not simply a display of advanced military hardware. It is a statement of strategic intent, a reminder that deterrence is not a passive concept. It is active, visible, and in moments like these, unavoidable. The deployment of the U.S. B-52 bomber in this latest operation is far more than a routine military exercise. It is a meticulously calculated demonstration of strategic strength that reverberates across the globe. From the moment the aircraft took off, the operation signaled a level of readiness and precision that few nations can match, underscoring the United States' ability to project power anywhere, at any time. The sheer size and historic legacy of the B-52, combined with its modernized capabilities, make it a symbol not only of technological sophistication, but also of enduring deterrence. Watching this bomber soar over contested airspace, one cannot help but grasp the message: America is prepared, deliberate, and unwavering in its defense commitments. This show of force is not about intimidation for its own sake. It is a clear articulation of strategic intent. Every maneuver, every mile flown, is meticulously planned to convey a point to both allies and adversaries. Allies are reassured that the United States remains fully engaged, capable of defending shared interests, and committed to maintaining stability in regions under pressure. The B-52's presence acts as a stabilizing factor, a visible reminder that the U.S. maintains the capacity to enforce deterrence with both subtlety and overwhelming force. For those who might underestimate the resolve of American power, the sight of this bomber alone is enough to recalibrate calculations and assumptions. The precision with which this mission was executed also speaks volumes about modern military integration. It is a convergence of intelligence, real-time coordination, and cutting-edge avionics, all working in concert to create an operation that is as efficient as it is imposing. The B-52, a platform that has been operational for decades, has been continuously updated with the latest technology, making it a formidable tool capable of carrying out a wide range of strategic objectives. This is not a relic of the Cold War. It is a living, adaptive instrument of deterrence, refined over decades of experience and now ready to assert influence in high-stakes scenarios. Psychologically, the impact of deploying a strategic bomber cannot be overstated. While missiles, tanks, and cyber operations dominate headlines, the visual and symbolic effect of a B-52 in flight commands attention. Signals reach endurance and, above all, authority. Russia and any other global actor observing this operation must contend with the undeniable fact that the U.S. maintains both the means and the willingness to act decisively. In geopolitical terms, this type of demonstration strengthens bargaining positions, reinforces credibility, subtly reshapes the landscape of deterrence. Furthermore, the operation reinforces the narrative of American leadership in defense strategy. In a world where uncertainty often dictates the pace of global events, showing capability is as important as diplomatic negotiation. The B-52 mission was carefully timed and executed to maximize visibility while minimizing escalation, a delicate balance that reflects strategic acumen. It highlights the message that strength and restraint are not mutually exclusive. The United States can demonstrate overwhelming power while maintaining control over the potential for conflict escalation. Every flight of the B-52 carries with it the weight of history, experience, and unmistakable authority. This mission was no different. By combining technological mastery, strategic foresight, and unmistakable display of power, the U.S. sends a signal that transcends mere military exercise. It is a vivid reminder to Russia, to allies, to the broader international community that the United States is not only capable of defending its interests, but prepared to assert its influence decisively when necessary. The world watched, calculated, took note, understanding that deterrence is not theoretical, it is tangible, and it just flew across the skies in unmistakable clarity. The recent operation involving the U.S. B-52 bomber was far more than a tactical maneuver. It represented a direct, unmistakable message to Russia and the world about the limits of aggression and the reality of American resolve. Every aspect of the mission was designed to communicate clarity, precision, and consequence, reinforcing the notion that actions have real-world ramifications. For Russia, this display of strategic capability is a stark reminder that rhetoric alone does not translate into operational dominance. While Moscow has long relied on signaling and posturing to assert influence, the presence of a B-52 bomber in contested airspace serves as a tangible demonstration of what true operational reach and capability look like. This operation was carefully orchestrated to achieve multiple objectives simultaneously, blending deterrence with visibility. Allies in Europe and beyond could see that the United States remains committed to collective security, a reliable partner prepared to act decisively in defense of shared interests. For adversaries, The message is even more pointed. Any attempt to test the limits of U.S. power will be met with overwhelming capability and strategic precision. The psychological impact cannot be underestimated, as it forces recalibration of assumptions, challenging the belief that intimidation or aggression can go unanswered. In geopolitics, perception is as critical as reality, and the B-52's flight sent an unmistakable signal that deterrence is not a theoretical concept, but a lived, visible fact. The sophistication and planning behind the mission further amplify its message. Modern operations of this nature are not impulsive. They are the result of detailed intelligence gathering, advanced coordination between command centers, and a precise understanding of timing, geography, political context. The B-52, though a platform with decades of service, has been continually upgraded with state-of-the-art navigation, communication, and weapon systems, allowing it to execute operations that are as strategic as they are symbolic. Its deployment over strategic zones illustrates that American capability is not static. It adapts and evolves, reflecting both experience and innovation. For Russia, the implication is clear. Technological superiority paired with disciplined execution creates an advantage that is difficult to contest. Beyond the technical and strategic aspects, the operation carried significant diplomatic weight. By signaling capability while exercising restraint, the United States demonstrated a nuanced understanding of international dynamics. This was not an act of provocation, but a carefully calibrated communication designed to assert authority, maintain credibility, influence strategic calculations. In the delicate balance of global power, such visible demonstrations serve as a powerful tool, allowing the United States to project strength without triggering unnecessary escalation. The careful choreography of timing, route selection, public visibility ensured that the mission would be observed and analyzed by both allies and adversaries, maximizing its deterrent effect. The operation also highlighted the importance of credibility in international affairs. Words alone, even from the most powerful states, often fail to deter actions that threaten stability. Physical demonstration of capability bridges that credibility gap, providing undeniable proof that a nation can and will enforce its commitments. The B-52 bomber's flight thus served as a dual-purpose statement to reassure allies that American commitments are real and to remind adversaries that strategic boundaries are not flexible. Ultimately, this display of force reinforces the principle that power is not defined merely by size or rhetoric, but by the ability to act decisively, accurately, and visibly when the situation demands it. Russia, in observing this operation, is confronted with a reality that extends beyond political posturing. There exists a tangible strategic capability capable of reshaping assumptions, recalibrating ambitions, compelling respect for international norms. Every mile flown by the B-52 carried with it a message of deterrence, precision, and accountability, leaving no room for ambiguity in the interpretation of American resolve. The precision and preparedness demonstrated by the U.S. B-52 bomber during this operation underscore a level of military sophistication that few nations can rival. This is not merely an aircraft flying a routine mission. It is the embodiment of decades of strategic development, technological innovation, and operational discipline. Each maneuver, altitude adjustment, and communication exchange was calculated with exacting care, reflecting a mastery of logistics and tactical execution that sends a clear signal. When the United States commits, it commits with thoroughness and unyielding focus. The world is watching, and in that observation, the message becomes unmistakable. Precision is power, and preparedness is a statement of intent. The ability of the B-52 to integrate into a highly complex operational environment speaks volumes about the depth of planning behind such missions. From real-time intelligence gathering to advanced navigational systems, every element is synchronized to achieve maximum efficiency while minimizing risk. This is an aircraft that has evolved far beyond its original Cold War design, now equipped with cutting-edge avionics, satellite communication links, and modern weapons capabilities that allow it to carry out a wide spectrum of strategic objectives. The B-52's endurance, range, payload capacity make it not just a symbol of raw power, but a flexible instrument of deterrence, capable of adapting to shifting geopolitical conditions with remarkable agility. Preparedness in this context goes beyond physical readiness. It embodies strategic foresight, coordination, and the ability to respond dynamically to emerging threats. Military analysts around the world recognize that executing a mission of this scale requires more than technology. It demands seamless coordination between command centers, intelligence units, and tactical crews, all operating under a unified strategy. The B-52's flight was a demonstration that the United States not only possesses the hardware, but also the institutional expertise to deploy it effectively. For Russia and other global actors observing this operation, the implications are stark. American military preparedness is not theoretical or symbolic. It is actionable, deliberate, capable of producing immediate results. The psychological dimension of precision and preparedness cannot be overstated. While the B-52's technological prowess is impressive, the operational display is equally a calculated demonstration of strategic discipline. It forces adversaries to confront the reality of American operational excellence in a tangible way, challenging any assumptions that aggression can go unchecked or that rhetorical threats carry equal weight to action. Allies, on the other hand, gain reassurance that commitments to security and deterrence are backed by not only words, but meticulously executed capability. The confidence generated by such operations reinforces collective defense strategies, providing stability through clarity of intent and demonstration of capability. The mission also serves as a compelling reminder of how modern military operations blend traditional strength with technological integration. It is not enough to have superior firepower. The ability to deploy that power accurately at the right time and place is what defines strategic success. Every aspect of the B-52's mission, from navigation to payload readiness, was optimized to demonstrate that precision is not optional in modern deterrence. It is essential. By executing this operation flawlessly, the United States showcased that preparedness is a living, constantly maintained state, not a reactive measure. It is cultivated, rehearsed, and projected with confidence that leaves little doubt about intent and capability. The flight of the B-52 also conveys a subtle yet critical geopolitical message. The United States is prepared to act decisively with measured precision in response to provocations. Every element of the operation reflects a deep understanding that deterrence is a function of not just capacity, but disciplined application of that capacity. Russia, observing this demonstration, must reckon with the operational reality that the U.S. can project power in ways that are immediate, effective, and strategically calibrated. The mission leaves no ambiguity. Preparedness and precision are intertwined pillars of influence, and in the skies where the B-52 flies, they are on full display for the world to witness. The psychological impact of the U.S. B-52 bomber deployment extends far beyond the technical or strategic elements of the mission. It resonates in the minds of allies and adversaries alike, shaping perceptions, recalibrating calculations, and asserting dominance in ways that words alone cannot achieve. The very presence of a strategic bomber in contested airspace communicates a level of intent and capability that is undeniable. For Russia, this operation is a stark reminder that modern warfare is not just fought with rhetoric or political maneuvering, but with tangible demonstrations of power that are visible, measurable, and strategically calculated. The sight of the B-52 cutting across the skies is a psychological jolt, a clear signal that deterrence is not abstract. It is real, immediate, and enforceable. Every flight of the B-52 carries with it an implicit message about readiness, discipline, and command authority. Military operations of this nature are meticulously planned to maximize both operational effectiveness and symbolic impact. Allies gain reassurance from the knowledge that the United States maintains not only the capability, but the willingness to act decisively when necessary. Observing this demonstration, partner nations understand that the U.S. commitment to global security is backed by assets that are not only advanced, but strategically deployed to shape outcomes in critical regions. For adversaries, however, the psychological effect is far more pointed. The bomber's presence challenges assumptions, instills caution, and forces strategic recalibration, compelling them to recognize that actions have consequences that can be immediate and irreversible. The strategic deployment of the B-52 also demonstrates an understanding that power projection is as much about perception as it is about capability. Warfare and geopolitics are not conducted in a vacuum. They unfold within the context of human decision-making, risk assessment, and calculated deterrence. By executing a high-profile mission with precision and visibility, the United States sends a message that is both subtle and unequivocal. Strength is not just a measure of force, but of the ability to convey it convincingly. The bomber is a symbol, a tangible representation of strategic authority that leaves little room for misinterpretation or underestimation. Every maneuver, every mile flown reinforces the narrative that the U.S. remains a dominant force capable of influencing outcomes at both tactical and strategic levels. The psychological dimension of deterrence relies heavily on demonstrating competence under pressure. The B-52 operation exemplifies this principle, showing that the United States can execute complex missions with efficiency, coordination, and accuracy. This competence not only enhances credibility, but also establishes a framework in which potential adversaries are compelled to think twice before testing limits. The calculation is simple yet profound. When one observes the capabilities and operational readiness of a nation, the perceived risks of aggression increase exponentially. The bomber's presence alone is a powerful tool in shaping that perception, reinforcing the idea that deterrence is an active, dynamic process rather than a passive posture. Moreover, the psychological impact extends into the strategic calculus of conflict management. The B-52's flight is a reminder that the United States can project power with a balance of assertiveness and restraint, signaling both capability and judgment. It communicates that strategic objectives can be pursued decisively without unnecessary escalation, allowing for a controlled yet unmistakable demonstration of authority. The operation leaves observers with an understanding that while the U.S. seeks stability, it will act with precision and resolve to maintain it, shaping the behavior of both allies and adversaries in subtle but meaningful ways. Every aspect of this operation, from timing and altitude to route selection and visibility, was optimized to maximize psychological effect. It is a carefully choreographed demonstration of dominance and deterrence, reminding the world that power is not only measured in equipment and numbers, but in the ability to influence perception, command respect, and shape decisions before conflict even begins. For Russia and any observer of global military affairs, the B-52's presence is a tangible reminder that American resolve is unwavering, that strategic deterrence is as much about the mind as it is about the machinery of war. The global implications of the U.S. B-52 bomber operation extend far beyond the immediate theater of action, reaching into the complex web of alliances, deterrence strategies, and geopolitical calculations that define contemporary international relations. The deployment is a clear reminder to the world that the United States retains the capability and the will to project power decisively anywhere on the globe, that this power is not theoretical, it is operational, visible, and strategically integrated. Allies in Europe, Asia, and beyond can observe a tangible reaffirmation of commitment, an assurance that American military reach is fully aligned with diplomatic objectives, reinforcing the notion that collective security is a shared enforceable responsibility. For Russia, the operation carries an undeniable geopolitical weight. The B-52's presence is not merely a demonstration of military hardware. It is a strategic signal that challenges assumptions about regional dominance and global influence. By projecting power with such clarity and precision, the United States is reshaping the perception of strength in real time. Observers are compelled to recognize that attempts to destabilize or coerce will encounter a calculated and immediate response, backed by both technology and experience. This is the essence of modern deterrence. Operates not just through the threat of force, but through the demonstration of capability in a way that is both visible and persuasive. The impact on the international community cannot be overstated. Nations that rely on U.S. support are reassured that the commitment to their security is not symbolic but actionable. This operation underscores that the United States remains a leader in coordinating global defense strategies, providing a stabilizing presence in a world where uncertainty often dominates decision-making. The B-52 mission communicates that power projection is carefully managed and strategically deployed, enhancing credibility and reinforcing the trust of allies who rely on American capabilities to counter emerging threats. At the same time, the operation has significant ripple effects in the strategic calculus of adversaries. Russia and other potential challengers are forced to reassess both capabilities and intentions in light of this demonstration. The B-52's long-range presence, precision, coordination, and symbolic power create a strategic reality in which aggressive posturing must be weighed against the tangible demonstration of U.S. readiness. The psychological pressure exerted by such a display is immense, compelling adversaries to reconsider the feasibility of actions that could trigger immediate consequences. This is a subtle but highly effective form of influence where operational excellence translates directly into diplomatic leverage. The B-52 mission also reinforces the broader narrative of American leadership in international security. In an era defined by rapid technological evolution and shifting alliances, the ability to project power decisively is as critical as the power itself. By visibly demonstrating its operational reach, the United States asserts its role as a guarantor of stability, reminding both allies and adversaries that the capacity to act is matched by the discipline to apply it judiciously. Every mile flown, every coordinated maneuver, every system engaged during the mission amplifies a message of credibility, authority, and strategic foresight that resonates far beyond the skies. Furthermore, the operation highlights the interconnected nature of military, diplomatic, and psychological dimensions of power. It is a vivid example of how a single, well-executed mission can influence decision-making across multiple theaters of geopolitics. Allies gain confidence in shared security commitments. Adversaries confront the operational reality of deterrence. The broader international community witnesses a demonstration of disciplined, accountable, and technologically sophisticated force projection. In an age where ambiguity often defines global competition, the B-52 operation was a clarifying moment, signaling that the United States not only retains unmatched capability, but also understands how to use it strategically to shape outcomes on a global scale. The deployment of the U.S. B-52 bomber serves as a powerful symbol of deterrence, illustrating that strength and preparedness are not abstract concepts, but actionable realities capable of shaping international behavior. This is not about aggression or provocation. It is a calculated display of authority designed to convey a clear and unmistakable message. The United States has both the capacity and the resolve to enforce consequences for actions that threaten global stability. Every element of the operation, from precise flight paths to sophisticated coordination with command centers, underscores that modern deterrence is an active practice, a dynamic interplay of capability, perception, and strategic communication. For Russia and other international observers, the implications are immediate and undeniable, forcing a recognition that potential moves against U.S. interests or allies will be met with calculated, overwhelming response. The concept of deterrence in this context extends beyond mere military hardware. While the B-52 itself is an iconic platform, its true significance lies in what it represents: discipline, foresight, and the ability to project influence decisively. By executing such a mission, the United States demonstrates that deterrence is not passive. It is performed, observable, and strategically timed to maximize impact. The visual presence of a strategic bomber in contested regions sends a psychological message that is difficult to ignore, signaling to adversaries that any miscalculation carries consequences. While allies gain tangible assurance of American commitment, the B-52 becomes a conduit of credibility, translating operational capability into strategic influence with precision. Moreover, the deployment highlights the importance of readiness in modern deterrence strategies. Possessing advanced technology is insufficient if it cannot be applied effectively in real-world scenarios. This operation showcased not only the bomber's capability, but also the U.S. military's capacity for planning, coordination, and execution at a scale that reinforces its strategic posture. Every detail, from fuel management to navigation and electronic systems, is meticulously managed to ensure reliability and effectiveness, signaling that deterrence is built on preparedness as much as firepower. The message is clear: the United States is not only capable of responding, but does so with unmatched precision and discipline, a fact that resonates with both allies and adversaries. The strategic timing and visibility of the mission amplify its deterrent effect. By carefully selecting flight paths, altitudes, and operational windows, the United States ensured that this demonstration would be both observed and analyzed by multiple audiences. Allies witnessed proof of commitment and capability, while potential challengers are confronted with a tangible reality that challenges assumptions and recalibrates strategic calculations. This is the essence of effective deterrence, influencing behavior not only through potential consequences, but by making those consequences immediately apparent and credible. The B-52's presence acts as a constant reminder that readiness is visible, consequences are enforceable, and authority is deliberate. Deterrence also relies heavily on the credibility of execution. The mission demonstrates that the United States can operationalize its strategic promises, translating abstract commitments into observable action. This ability to act decisively, accurately, and visibly reinforces international perceptions of U.S. reliability and strength. In an era of unpredictable threats and shifting alliances, credibility becomes one of the most valuable assets a nation can possess. By demonstrating that deterrence is both principled and actionable, the United States positions itself as a stabilizing force capable of shaping outcomes without unnecessary escalation, maintaining influence while mitigating risk. Every aspect of the B-52 deployment conveys a deliberate, multidimensional message about the power of deterrence in a modern strategic context. It is a reminder that authority is projected not only through weapons, but through precision timing and the ability to influence perception on a global scale. Russia and other international actors are compelled to recognize that deterrence is not theoretical, but a concrete framework that governs action and consequence, and that the United States remains fully capable of executing it with skill, authority, and strategic clarity. This display is a pivotal moment, not just in geopolitics, but in understanding the balance of power in our modern world. It is a moment that calls for clarity, strategy, and the steady resolve of those willing to lead with conviction. And as we move forward, let us carry with us the certainty that vigilance, preparedness, and decisive action remain the cornerstones of security in an increasingly unpredictable world.